Game of Thrones review, everybody. The laws of gods and men. And look who's here. Kim Horcher.
What is this?
Gods, men, and women.
Yeah, and Cenk has a T-shirt on.
I know, is that weird?
Flashing, Cenk.
Hey. So it's Lannister.
What side are you on?
Well, okay, so, and it says Casterly Rock up here, okay? First of all, I never wear red shirts, and I've decided I really like it. Okay, so this is, by the way, from our sponsor, LexHead.com. Where they have other shows too, Breaking Bad, etc. But the reason I like this, other than it's a new look, is I was like, Lannister, do I want to wear Lannister? And I was like, wait a minute, he's got Tyrion on.
Oh.
He's also a Lannister,
Yeah,
our
Tyrion
favorite
episode.
character. When they asked me who would I like to be in the Game of Thrones, in the Game of the Throne, Tyrion Lannister. Thank you.
So that one specific Lannister only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but look, Jaime's good too. So the half bad, half good. Welcome to Game of Thrones.
Lancel's got his moments.
Right.
I'm wearing a Local and Ace T-shirt. What do you have on, Kim?
It's just a black shirt.
No. All right.
Okay. All right.
The Night's Watch.
Obviously, Cenk and John. So this was a different. This episode felt different. First of all, there was no death.
Well,
Nope.
there were some.
Who died?
Who died?
The Ironborn fighting against the Boltons.
Oh yeah, but those are like Star Trek dudes with red shirts. Like that wasn't. But yes, that's right. There was that at the beginning. You know, it's funny. I was writing notes for the show, and I didn't write in the first 10 minutes. I completely forgot about that. That scene was weird.
Super
Yes.
weird.
Yeah. So Theon's sister, Greta. right?
It's Yarra.
Yarra.
Yeah.
So
Definitely not
close.
Greta.
Yarra
Theon-
Van Susteren.
Theon's sister Leslie comes to the. So they find him. Like, I mean, we're reintroduced to her, and then bang! Hey, look, got him, right? And there they are.
They're
There's
stuck
no
in.
like we don't see much of the sneaking part of the planning of the assault. They're just there in the room, and they get into a fight. And then I guess what appeared to happen was that Ramsay
Yusuf.
Ramsay Yusuf merely threatened the sister with the dogs,
Yeah.
and then so they ran off back to the boat and left Theon there. Theon, who didn't want to come along, but as Cenk pointed out, and I was thinking the same thing at that moment. As Ramsay's being all cute, like, well, okay, I guess I'll just turn here, but well, go cut his freaking arm off.
Yeah.
You know, like do the thing that you guys do. It's Game of Thrones. Don't be like, oh, he's going for the gate. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Should we let him let the dogs out? Who
Yeah.
let the dogs out?
And then-
Ramsay did.
Turns out-
And then,
him.
and then I guess did he just merely threaten, or did he let the dogs out? And then they ran back, like they're faster than the what?
That was a strange
It
direction
was just,
choice.
it was not a great Game of Thrones scene. It felt
I think you're misreading it.
okay.
Well,
How
Yeah,
about
so I
that?
was surprised too while watching. I was like, well, that's a little bit weird. I mean, I guess maybe they're too far away to attack him or something like that, or they think they weren't like assaulting to take over the castle. They snuck in with a few people, and maybe they're worried about like reinforcements. But I don't think it's even that. I think she could have attacked him and continued to try to free him, but she saw what he was. She'd try to free him. He bit her and then ran back into his cage. I think she really did think he's dead to me. Like, he's not the person he was. I don't want to save him. I think that they could have tried to, but they were like, what's the point? He's a broken person.
But it's still not buying it.
It's
okay.
kind of a combination, isn't it? Like, I can't win / he won't come to me
won't help.
and try.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Okay. But look, it rang false. So I think
Right.
unless you're going to give away something in the future, this is a point where we need your expertise from the book because it needs details, right? Because in that moment, Greta Van Susteren, there's no way that she doesn't kill Ramsay just for blood sport,
Well,
just for
you
honor.
You saw
right.
what Eric Bolling could do with just 2 daggers and no armor. Come on.
Right, I know, right? And there's
That
no
guy-
way that Ramsay, the most evil man in the 7 Kingdoms, is going to let her walk out.
right. So
Right,
it just
I think that he couldn't kill. Like they only had a few people there at that point. He couldn't attack her.
what you say almost has to be what it is, that she just decided, all right, no dogs.
No, I got that.
I'm
part.
Right,
Really
but
right
but
about
I think, but
everything.
ultimately, Cenk is right. Like, it's a rare moment that just it rang false. It felt like a cop show.
Or a bad
Like-
editing
like,
job.
it
Like
just-
they
it felt-
cut out
Editing.
something.
Like I don't like to. I don't. We don't see these conversations as areas for criticism because this is a thing where we're here to love and celebrate. But it felt
Yeah.
false. It was a very weird scene, and I didn't care for it.
So again, in the books, does it happen the same way, or do we get some detail that explains it?
This is one of the storylines that's very different than the books.
Oh,
So there's no equivalent. There's no direct equivalent. And I don't even think that's a spoiler. I think it's so different that I can't even spoil it. There's
Right.
no direct equivalent of that scene. There's
Okay.
things that are like that kind of.
Okay,
But I
all
think,
right,
I think they
so
could
I
have
got
edited
it.
it better.
Okay, so I'm declaring it. It's a bad scene, but the general point is, she thinks, who gives a damn about Theon? He's already dead because that's not Theon, and she's so disgusted by that that off she goes.
Right, and it almost gets them out of their situation of her coming and gets Theon now into this ultimate trustworthy situation where he's obviously he's going to be used as a spy to go where we don't know. I guess that would be a spoiler you can't reveal. But basically, didn't his father gave him a task? He gave the handsome guy who got prematurely killed last week a task, the bearded man.
You found him to be handsome.
I think he's a handsome cutthroat.
It was a severe kind of face, like very gaunt.
That guy got laid. No question. Yeah.
Locke?
No, he had a full head of hair and a robust beard, and he was with a knife.
The full head of hair is what gets you laid.
Kim, by the way, yes.
At the wall.
And Kim's silence is acquiescence.
Yeah,
No,
she's imagining
I'm
it.
confused by why you would say that.
What? You don't think it was a
Dude
good look?
gets laid?
Yeah, that guy got laid. That guy got
Wait
super
a second. Now that I'm thinking about it, is Locke the character in the show who looks most like Ben Mankiewicz? I think that's what it is.
Right. Totally.
Seriously, stare at the camera. Stare at the camera really fast. Somebody superimpose Locke's face over that. I bet you can morph them very easily.
Anyway, not really think it's the main point though. So when Ramsay's dad, when Lord Bolton sent Locke away, handsome Locke away to find the boys, he also gave Ramsay a task to help him rebuild himself from making the mistake of damaging Theon so much that he could no longer be used as a bargaining chip. What did he say? I'm not recalling what he said to Ramsay. He gave, like, it's not
Was it to beat the Ironborn? I don't remember
I think
exactly.
that's what he said.
Yeah,
I
to
don't-
beat the Ironborn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to speculate too far,
Okay,
but I think it was something.
so then that would suggest what you said when we were watching the show, Kim, that mission is going to be for Theon to break away and go back to the Ironborn and say, I got away. I didn't believe in the rescue. I'd been fooled so many times. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm glad to be home. And actually plant, and sabotage them.
You know, I almost thought that his sister, once she gave up on him, was going to kill him.
Right.
And maybe she lives to regret the decision that she didn't.
Yeah, that would have been a very Game of Thrones thing to do.
Yeah. Like, oh, we've lost him.
And also,
Sorry,
and like
bye-bye.
out of respect for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, end this.
I'm going
like-
to end this. Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, exactly.
You're in a cage. You're sniveling. You're in a cage, and you're blindly loyal to the people who put you in the cage. I'm gonna.
cut off
It's a
Right.
mercy kill.
It's a mercy kill.
Do you
Right.
think once he infiltrates that he'll turn back to Theon, or he'll always
Yes.
be Reek now?
No, I think he'll turn back to Theon because I think we saw it when the dogs ate the other girl. Like, we've seen enough in his face that he's confused, but he still has Theon's humanity, even though Theon's humanity was compromised massively when he pointlessly killed 2 farmer children, just
Yeah.
as a little subterfuge, as
And
misdirection.
The Castellana, the
Yeah.
Yeah, and beheaded the guy.
But the one thing I do know is if it plays out as we're speculating here, it will be a great Game of Thrones mystery where we will all be like, is he Theon or is he Reek? Right? And the whole time we'll be like, oh no, but wait, you never know.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll go on the side of Reek.
You go on the side of Reek?
You think
Yes.
Once
Well,
you go
I
Reek,
tell you
you
what.
never go back.
Yeah.
$100, you say Reek, I say Theon.
Why with the $100?
And you know, with that shirt on, you have to
Right,
pay
there you
him.
go. Because you'll
20,
pay.
20.
40.
40, okay,
40
deal.
is the
If
Lannister-
you don't pay, you go to
Yeah,
the wall.
but the
The
upside of
Lannisters
that
all-
bet was that I got to show my arm a little bit. Not a big deal, but okay.
No, you're right. It's not a big deal. Yeah, you nailed that one. All right, so that'll be a fun pointless bet. Is he Theon or is he Reek?
So we have the first bad scene ever in Game of Thrones.
We have one of the first. Yeah, I really didn't like that scene. It was just it felt rushed.
Right, but
Yeah.
despite that,
There's a lot to get to in that episode.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I still love that episode.
it's
I
great,
think I
yeah.
like this better than the last one. Of course, I actually think you can't beat episode 3, the one after
The speech episode.
the
with all
speech
the
episode.
speeches.
Yeah.
So we also had the bank. We finally see Braavos.
That was nice. It was nice to see Braavos with the ridiculously tall knight.
You weren't buying the Titan of Braavos.
I just don't know who. Like literally, I think about how do you build that? Like who builds that?
Yeah, but there was one in real life.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Supposedly.
Not that big.
Yeah.
deal.
And by the way,
builds the wall?
anything that ends with supposedly didn't happen.
Okay, all right. That's fair enough. But by the way, the people who build that are the people who run the Iron fucking Bank. They have literally all the money in the world.
And the pyramid of Mereen is far larger than the Titan of Braavos.
Yeah, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying
Okay,
it.
we might be stuck on a detail.
But anyway, it was very cool to see Braavos, and it was good to see the bank, and those guys. And I liked that clearly we got. It was a nice way to introduce that they got the money. Like it was, I thought, sort of narratively skillful that he got rejected. Then Sir Davos goes in with what is a fairly compelling point. Like,
Is it? That was my other question.
no,
That's scene number
only
2?
the
Yeah.
first half of it is compelling. The half of it that says Tywin is 67. He's a bastard. And everybody's going to know it. There's going to be chaos when Tywin's gone. That's a compelling point. You got to figure out a way to get your money back. That's compelling. The argument that they should throw their lot with Stannis. That's a tough which is the part you object to.
First time I heard the argument for Stannis and thought it made sense.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, because who else? I mean, I guess these guys are what? They could lend money to, who? I don't know. Do they, also.
I would say the Tyrells probably would do pretty well in the chaos that came after Tywin dying.
And they would know not to mess with the Iron Bank. I don't know. It was a little too easy to get the Iron frickin' Bank to change their mind on a colossal issue. If I was the Iron Bank, no way I would have changed my mind.
Also, if you're the Iron Bank, aren't you to that point? I mean, I agree with you. I thought it was cool narratively. Again, we're now at a point where I tend to agree with you. I didn't totally buy it. Just like, because you're saying it's such a colossal issue. What, the Iron Bank, those 3 guys are going to be like, yeah, we never thought about this. Who's going to win this thing? I mean, it's all they talk about. Their money is all invested with the Lannisters, and it's just really invested in Tywin.
Yeah. Well, it's probably invested in a lot of that in noble houses of Westeros, just not as much as they've put into the Lannisters. But also, and I don't think this is at all a spoiler. Like Wall Street's worried about future regulations, so they throw a whole bunch of money at the Republicans. And they're so worried about the future of regulation that they also throw money at the Democrats.
No, that's unquestionably the same thing I thought, and it makes sense. But at the same time, in this case, if Tywin gets sense that they have thrown money at the Democrats, Stannis, right, the losing side, of course, right? So then that gives Tywin an out to go, I'm not going to pay your money back. You gave that guy the money to take it from me. You broke our deal. Sorry, it's you broke the contract. I just think it's a massive risk. First of all, Tywin is basically on the throne, and he's proven himself to be the smartest, cagiest guy, the best partner for them, and not just now, but over a long career, right? And number 3, the Lannisters always pay their debts.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
that's a pretty strong argument if you're the Iron Bank.
Right, so I don't think Tywin says what you suggested there, which is he goes, you just gave money to Stannis, I'm not going to pay you back. That's like inconceivable for the Lannisters. Although it's Tywin, he's a terrible guy, and in desperate times he may do something like that. I don't know. I think John, you're being too flippant when you go, they have money invested in all the noble houses of West. Of course they do, but it was made clear that they have a tremendous amount of risk at the invested with the Lannisters in winning this war, and the Lannisters controlling the throne, which is now, they should realize, it is a tenuous hold.
Yeah. Well, no, but then all the more reason that they'd want to have a backup plan. Because
Right,
I'm
but
sure
is
that the chief part of their contract with Stannis is that when you take control,
You pay everybody's debt back.
yes, exactly.
Or you inherit, right? That's
I mean,
what I thought. That it
if
had.
not for that, then let's say Tywin dies and the Tyrells take over, It's just gone. Like theoretically, it's just gone.
Do they know
No.
about Dany? And what could happen if she wins?
I'm sure that they're thinking about it.
Oh yeah, with the dragons.
Unless they
Okay,
don't have the
Daenerys,
same
right.
quality spies, little birds, that Varys does. Let's talk about
They
Varys.
probably do.
Because Varys
Oh, I
came
love
back.
Varys.
Yeah, right. Varys had been essentially missing this entire season.
That was
save
the
for a
only
couple
thing
of
wrong
moments.
with this season.
Right, and now we got some Varys. I want to say before that we talk about Varys' motivation and so forth. Like, it's a little fucked up that, like, when Oberyn comes in to get Varys, there's a lot of scenes of people who just sort of wander into the throne room by themselves, and they're just like, you know, like, sorry, I didn't mean to bother you while you were just staring blankly at the throne, but so
Obsessing over
yeah,
it.
it was
Can we have a really poignant speech about power
yeah, totally.
while
Yeah.
we're both here?
Right, well, we're just both randomly here. I guess you could just walk in. So that was an interesting conversation. Every Oberyn conversation has proven to be extremely interesting.
Yeah, even his side comments during the trial were pretty damn good.
They were all dick jokes.
What did we learn from that? From
So that's another mystery that this was a confusing episode. When Varys looked at the throne and said, well, you know, when you leave desire aside, there's other things that you could pursue, and then he looked at the throne, like, what, Varys is going to be the...
I never thought
He'd
that was one
had-
of his
he'd had
motivations.
pillows.
But you know, there was that conversation some time ago, maybe season 1, maybe season 2, between Varys and Littlefinger, right? When they were sort of these two
climb.
guys on the small council, and like where they both sort of indicated, yeah, I think the conversation was, have you ever thought about it?
Uh-huh.
And they both, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, and they were both like, yeah.
I thought Varys said that he had not.
Maybe.
I think looking at the throne could mean literally that you want to park your
or you
big
want to
eunuch ass
or
on there.
protecting it.
Or you want to be able to influence it. Like it's a symbol of power. He's looking at it, he wants power, but not necessarily
I
to wield
think
it.
that's what, it's got to be that.
Or what he's always said, what he said to Ned, what he said 100 times, which is that whoever's in charge, I'm here to protect it, to make sure it lasts, to make sure we don't screw this all up.
Pro-establishment.
Right, he's probably, like, here's what he doesn't want. Like, I don't want some girl coming in here with a bunch of dragons.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a bad...
People like Varys probably don't do
freeing
well
everyone.
during chaos.
Right. She's going to just free everyone, and everyone's going to, like, be able to vote or some fucking shit like that. Yeah, you know, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, no, I think Varys' whole thing is that he protects the realm, and that
Right.
he wants as much stability as possible, because the war leads to mayhem and destruction and death. In his mind, his job is to make sure there's as little death as possible. Stability equals no death, right?
Right.
And so I think that that's what he's doing.
He's the Barack Obama of the small council.
Well, one could argue. Okay, so and then I think
I meant
I'm
and then
gonna
he has no
conclude.
balls.
That's funny.
Loneliness problem.
Okay, if I had the gavel here, I'm going to pound it. The look must have been
Protect the realm.
slash power. Like, you know, pursuing power, maintaining power, influence, etc.
Yeah, he's not gonna be
He
on it.
can't. No, he doesn't think that. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Right.
He's too smart to
Yeah.
think that.
Yeah,
Because that's like Littlefinger's is within the realm of possibility. Varys is not within the realm of possibility to be the head.
Although you gotta love his little, like, I mean, nobody even needs to call me Lord, and yet they do.
No, I look.
What do you think about that?
You know, of course, when people ask me which one of the characters would you like to be, I can't say Varys. The guy's got no balls,
You
right?
made Steve Varys.
I know, right?
That's true.
I
did
know.
what?
Jake did this thing where he said who everybody on the staff was. He made Steve Varys. He made John Loris. I don't know who
Thank
you
you for
were. I
reminding
was
me.
Arya.
Wait, can I see her seal? What does that say at the bottom?
It rhymes with torture.
So Kim Bolton over here.
But Varys is actually my favorite character. I've said that many times because he has nothing, literally, right? And he rose from nothing, and based purely on his, you know, on his intelligence and his, you know, being savvy, etc. And now he has accumulated all this power, and he maintains that power with, again, really nothing to back him up other than his own wit. And so you gotta, and he's actually in a lot of ways, even though he betrays Tyrion there, which was expected and sanctioned,
would.
yeah, etc. And he's a schemer and all that stuff. but actually the most moral person in the show, right?
Yeah. So what do we think he meant when when Tyrion gave his speech saying you said I'd save the city if you've forgotten? I said I haven't forgotten anything. Like
He said, sadly, I can't forget anything.
so.
So is he saying like I acknowledge what I'm doing and I carry it with me and whatever?
Oh, right. So like I'm going to carry this with me. I'll never forget that my betrayal of you, or no, I haven't forgotten. This is today. This isn't the end of this.
Maybe
like
both?
maybe, yeah.
I guess both, but it was also an acknowledgement to the room. You guys know he saved your ass.
Right.
Like, I'm not giving any, like, Varys is not ruining the trial. He's saying, yeah, you're guilty, whatever, da da da. He didn't step away from that at all. He would never step away from that. But he is acknowledging there in that brief moment to the room that, come on, let's get real. You know Tyrion saved the city.
I don't know. I'm curious. I wonder whether that was some, whatever. That line means something, and I'm curious.
Yeah, it has at least 2 meanings, maybe 3.
Right.
Yeah. Well, really fast, can I just add a little bit of background about Varys, just because we're talking about him so much? I love, Varys is better on the show than he is in the books. He's one of the many characters who's better in the show. But he is also different, and I wonder, again, it's not a spoiler, so I think I can say, he, obviously he's like kind of a fat guy in the show, but he always like has like a hard look on his face and everything. In the books, he's described constantly of smelling of lavender and vanilla. He wears, like, they always describe it as velvet and like silks and stuff like that. He like faints at the sight of blood, and he talks with a very like droll voice.
So he's a southern dandy.
Kind of. He's much more effeminate in the books, and I wonder if, like, I know it must have been a conscious decision to not play him that way, but I think that could well just be an act to hide how ruthless he really can be when necessary. But I wonder if the character would have been better if he'd been played as effeminate as he is in the books.
No, I think it's really good the way he's got it, and it gave that great moment here where Oberon's like, no offense, I assume you like guys. I do, like.
Yeah, it's
no
clearly
deal.
no offense.
Yeah, right.
This is really me asking to fuck you.
Right, exactly. And he's like, no, and then I didn't like anybody, and then he has that great line about desire, and when I see what desire has done to this city.
How far do you think Varys sees ahead? Do you think he's understood who's really done this, or who may have done this?
He's in season 7 right now.
Okay, so he gets it.
We're not even picked up for season 7.
Years.
No, look, so one other quick thing here. So there's so many stories within stories, that's why we love this show. And then we talk about how they're playing around with the 7 kingdoms, but in fact fire and ice are coming, etc. And within the 7 kingdoms, we think that it's the Starks and the Lannisters, etc. But in some ways, it's always been Littlefinger versus Varys. And they had the best speech about power in all of Game of Thrones, in that one speech where they talked about it, right? It almost makes me want to go back and watch that again. And so Varys trying to keep stability, and then Littlefinger just gave the speech about how he thrives in chaos.
Well, it's been suggested to us, and John, you brought this to my attention, in fact, via Twitter, that during the break we do, and we did season 3, but that we do seasons 1 and 2. Like we find time and we go back and we
Oh, wow. That'd
Fill
be
in the
interesting.
gaps.
fill in the gaps. We could set our own schedule for it, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah. So, and Littlefinger in that speech, talked about, if I'm not mistaken, climbing out of the darkness, and that was he liked that he thought the darkness and the chaos was his ally and was a great thing, and Varys was like, no, and you have to. So
It's the libs versus the conservatives.
That sounds like a Batman versus Superman conversation.
And that's right. And it's like, and by the way, what it also is lightness versus dark. Okay, so which is another huge theme of Game of Thrones. Also, I was born in the darkness. You merely adopted it.
What's that?
That was
He's doing the
Bane.
Bane voice.
That's what he said to
that-
Batman in
yeah.
the middle of their fight.
I was already bored at that point.
Oh, darkness! You think it is your ally? You merely adopted it. I was born in it.
By the way, just because we mentioned the guy you guys are totally fucked up on is super sexy, Locke. Speaking
Now
of
he's sexy.
speaking of Bane,
didn't say it.
speaking of Thomas Hardy, you said it.
I
Said it
don't
with
think I
your
did.
eyes.
That's the look. That's
That's
the
it
turned
right
on
there.
look.
Yeah, come on.
Meme that one. Okay.
Speaking of Bane, Tom Hardy, Locke. Tom Hardy's movie out now,
called
Locke.
Locke.
Will be one of the best movies anybody sees all year. Phenomenal.
Oh, okay, great.
Phenomenal,
Yeah, I
phenomenal.
can't
I
wait to
watched
see
a
it.
review and I want to see it from the trailer. I find it inconceivable that that's a good
Really
movie.
good. Really,
Okay.
really good.
Okay,
All
we'll
right,
see.
so trial. Are we ready for the trial?
Well, before we do that, let's say, because you brought up Dany, and we got an interesting scene with her where she's gone back to be queen, and now it's like, queen, conquering fun, queening hard.
I like that scene.
yeah.
No,
You
no.
got the dragons scene. We finally saw the dragons again, which, by the way, they grew a little.
Yeah, right. Also, I don't think the dragons need to stalk the sheep. Like, surprise! Just go get them. Like, yeah. Like,
It's cooler.
they're like
than-
the sheep are coming. Stop! You're breathing. You're fire. You're breathing. You're fire. Quiet.
The sheep like looks at the brush.
Right? Yeah. Like, it's not some.
How Ben is nitpicking the hunting habits of the dragon.
Yeah, but I mean, they're dragons. Like, just go fly around, be like, sheep, go.
okay,
So do you
but
think Dany's like going to not like being the queen as much as she thought?
She got 212 supplicants waiting, and that's what you already saw two. So 214 supplicants.
you know what I'm not interested in? Supplicants.
Yeah,
I don't like that. Doesn't sound.
I like that scene.
Yeah. Oh, no, the scene was great.
Love the scene, yeah.
That scene was really well done because in a short period of time you got to exactly what you needed. Her being like, "Oh, Queen's not so bad. Look at
Right.
me, 3 times the number of goats."
Right. Hey, you like that, boys?
Yeah, and then, like the old knight, Sir Barristan, whatever his head is.
Selmy. I'm picking up on the name.
There's Barristan Hannity.
Okay. He's like, you might regret that later, but okay, all right, have
he's
fun,
like thinking.
right?
He's like thinking, shitty precedent. Dragons are going to kill a lot of sheep.
Yeah. So then, and then that's because he sat in on a lot of those things. He knows there's 213 supplicants left, and it's not a good idea to give away 3 times as many goats, but she's having fun. And then the next guy comes in, she's like, oh, this kind of sucks, right? This was a difficult decision, right? And then, by the way, let's give credit to Ben, because he's the one during the crucifixion
yes.
scene that said, hey, maybe one of those guys argued against the crucifixion, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, right.
So,
She just rounded up 167. No, I
allegedly.
mean,
I know, but
they're not all the
good
same.
enough to give him credit.
Yeah, he just rounds up a bunch of, right, maybe it'll turn out that guy's super evil and they had a ton of slaves. But nonetheless, that was incredibly random. That wasn't really justice. That was blind justice.
And you saw in her face that she was realizing, oh wait,
Yeah,
that
maybe
might have
I
been
ki-
rash.
Yeah, I probably killed like 90 dicks, but I may have killed,
Nah.
70 non-dicks.
Nah, she killed 150 dicks and 13 guys who were on the fence. But for her, killing the 13 guys on the fence, she's not happy with.
I got the impression when we were watching that I was the only one who thought, because when they said 212 supplicants and then they take that wide shot, and that Selmy and Jorah were like, we have got to get 3 chairs up here. I mean, okay, she's bored, but she's at least sitting. Those guys are going to hear that story. They're going to be like, just give him 4 times for the
Hear
sheep.
the
Just
creak
for the
of
love of
armor.
God. We got to get through this day. Yeah.
See, this is one of those cases where if you show up the night before to be one of the first
Oh,
ones
you
in,
camp out.
when you camp out, that turns out to be a rare good decision in this case.
Totally, that's right.
Because not only are you waiting and waiting, but by the end they're going to be like, okay, yeah, what's your thing? Goats? God damn it, no, get out of here. Okay, what? Your dad's dead? He's already dead. Leave him up there. Go next.
Well, she's learning to balance it. I mean, we had said before that she's a queen who really wants to earn her place, and I think the show is about that a lot. People who are intended to rule and have power and money, and people who aren't. And Dany is the 3rd born, and she was never expecting this, so she's learning so much along the way. And this is one of those.
She's the 3rd born, and is Bran the 3rd legitimate born?
Bran's the second.
Second.
Well, no, he's
Second
younger than
boy.
Sansa. He's the second boy, third.
Second boy,
third
yeah.
born too.
Okay, so first, give credit to Kim for the name Dany. I don't know if other people use it, but we haven't used it here. Although I feel like it's a little disrespectful.
It is a little disrespectful.
I feel like, please.
She's meant in love like Khaleesi.
Back to what's important there is, okay, so queening is hard, as Ben alluded to. Hence, I think the conclusion is, yeah, anyways, let's get back to that warring stuff,
get to
which
the
was kind
conquering.
of fun. Let's go conquer the other
that
place.
instead.
And we'll do the supplicants over there.
Right. Also, you see what it is. This is, you don't want to get, the libertarians will love the lean and mean Khaleesi government, right? She's the one making decisions. But her staff needs to be bigger. Like they can see 212 supplicants, and
She needs a small
She needs
council.
15 people there who see the people,
you
and they
need to
make the decision.
You need to pull a Starbucks, and as they come in the door, you have somebody who's like, "Can I get you started on something? Is it goat related? That's our goat line." Yeah, you got to start weeding through this.
Is
Yeah.
this goat really?
We've had a lot of goat complaints today.
So, but speaking of small council, the small council keeps referring to her as a child, right? And so we have to remember how young she is. That's why she didn't get like, oh, there's 200 guys waiting out there. That's why she doesn't get why 3 times as many goats is not that great an idea. And she didn't get that queening would be so hard and annoying, right?
Right.
And so but the more important part of that is if you're sitting somewhere in Game of Thrones, and oftentimes in life too, you're a sitting duck, where you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. And so since she stopped moving forward, all of a sudden, small council planning to do the fun games that they do, send someone in there, assassin, poison, whatever. Because of course Tywin said, by force if we have to. But
Right.
Tywin loves beating people without force.
Yeah.
So there was some irony in his grandson being murdered by poison, because that's like Lannister 101.
Yeah, and she may be young, but she's a quick learner. Like she's a serious study.
Yeah.
Online, and maybe and whether Tommen is or not, we don't really know.
Tommen seems to be the most. Sorry, go ahead.
He's a puppet. He's Tywin's puppet. So when Tywin's gone, what will he be?
We've seen something from him, though. Just again, from a story point of view, to me, like he's not going to stay nothing forever. Like there is going to be something behind that.
You think so? Because right now, if you know how Khaleesi has all those names, right? He would be his second name is King of Vanilla. Like he is the most neutral, non-existent thing ever. It's super ironic that he's king because, boy, is there ever a blank slate. But ironic and appropriate because Tywin wants to run right on that blank slate.
It's perfect. So you wonder whether, again, we've talked about this, and now we seem to have an answer for who was involved in the murder of Joffrey. And it was Diana Rigg and the Tyrells with
Littlefinger.
Mayor of Baltimore, right? So, but it couldn't have worked out better for Tywin at all. I mean, it's ideal.
He lost control of Joffrey, so yeah.
Right. He lost control of Joffrey. He has complete control over Tommen. He placates his crazy daughter by killing the son he doesn't love and care about. He gets Jaime to do this. Tywin's involved. Holy shit, Tywin killed Joffrey.
Yeah. I mean, he got super lucky if he didn't.
If he didn't, he got unbelievably
I don't
lucky.
think he helped kill Joffrey.
I mean, it couldn't work out. I mean, it gave him everything he wanted. I mean, Jaime was like, I guess I could give up this and I'll go back to Castle Rock and be your done. Done.
Yeah.
Deal. Like, this is what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's kind of like when you're doing a trade in fantasy football and it's like, all right, I'll throw in Ray Rice. Done.
Done.
Right? Like, you got a deal. Let's do it. Like, because you had been planning for Ray Rice the whole time.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, I hear you on that. But, we'd have to see further evidence of that. And right now we don't have that.
We don't have it,
evidence.
except that no one has benefited more in any way.
The only thing I'll say about the Tyrells is that they're very smart. And so, in that sense.
Well, one of them's very smart.
Yes, of course.
The husband
Marjorie seems pretty smart.
Marjorie's smart.
No,
And
no,
that's
of that generation. No, Marjorie's totally smart, and Loras may well be smart. Their fucking dad, their dad is the dumbest person on the planet.
He can get the parchment.
Yeah, you have to get my quill in the parchment. No, right away, sure. Oh. Cool, I got something to do.
Oh, God, man, I thought.
Out of my way, I'm going to get the parchment.
I don't think Tywin had a hand in that, but I do think he called Shae.
Shae, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about Shae, because that's my question that arose out of that is Shae doing it because she's bitter at his last speech at her, or you're a whore, go away?
No.
Or are they pulling some strings with her? But what strings would they pull? I feel like
She
if
died.
she's
Yeah, I think the jugular string.
Yeah, but I feel like
she would have died.
I think she would have died
for Tyrion.
Yeah, I do, and I think she cares about Sansa. She clearly cared about Sansa.
Yeah.
I don't think she would make that up. I think that, I'm not one of the show writers, so I don't know. I can't think of what they have over her, but I think it's more than death.
I think that now that we've talked it through a little bit, I think that she was mad at Tyrion, and
She was acting so irrationally before, and he was clearly like doing things just to protect her. I think she's got a broken heart, and she's reacting badly to it. I do think Tywin called her and had a hand in selling these lies to her.
Oh yeah, they planted the lies. Obviously,
Yeah,
the
they're
question
not-
is why is she participating, and I think she's. But the most important line there was when she was like, "Oh, I was just his whore," like, and kind of looked at him like.
at him,
Yeah, but she said that's her line. That's her go-to line. I mean,
No, but that's what he said.
I
when
know, but she
dismissing
said
her.
she was always saying, "Am I nothing but a whore to you?" And then finally, when he goes, "Yeah, you're nothing but a whore to me," she's like, "Aha!" But
So one potential thing maybe they have over her, I mean, not just her life, but potentially his life. I mean, bear in mind when Jaime was talking with Tywin and he laid out his plan, Tywin agreed to it really quickly. Maybe he'd been thinking about it. And for that plan to
'cause he
work,
killed
Tyrion
Joffrey.
has to confess. And for Tyrion to confess, he has to think that he's done for. And all those other witnesses, he hadn't really seemed to be affected by it very much. But you saw as soon as Shae came out, he was like, oh God, I'm doomed.
No, there's something happening with Shae, but from I keep going back from what I expect of TV shows and what I, just as a viewer, about the construction of a character. If she's just angry and bitter, it's a very significant, I think, flaw and an unreasonable departure from the character we'd been led for her to believe. Because we're more right the first time. Cut my fucking throat. He may have abandoned me, but I know deep down he loves me and he was trying to protect me, and I think he's a dick and he's gutless for not doing this, but I'm certainly not going to send him and Sansa, who I swore to protect, off to die. They got something.
Okay.
Or they lied significantly, but when she finds out about the lie, she'll come
Okay,
back.
I mean, that last part might be true, or we might never see Shae again in this show. So that's also possible. But, you know, look, my sense of it is that she's not a tactician like Tyrion is, Varys is, etc. That when Tyrion told her she's nothing but a whore and it was time for her to go, she actually believed it. Like, she should have been, like, I wouldn't have believed it. I would have been, you know, all of us would have
I don't
been
think so.
savvy enough to think, no, he's obviously trying to send me away, right?
She's not a
But if she actually believed it, then it's much more reasonable that she's, you know, striking out because her heart is broken, as Kim said.
I don't think you're right. I really don't, because I think that she's not a tactician. I think that part is exactly right. She knows nothing but to fight. And she was always like, we'll take them on together.
Yeah.
Like, so she's not a fool, she's not a tactician, and she was always prepared to die.
So you
I
think she's still on Tyrion's side somehow?
I think she is definitely still on Tyrion's side somehow.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're saying she's in on sending him to the wall and...
No, I didn't think that until 1 second ago.
But now I'm 100% certain of it.
She's in on something, right?
I love these reviews.
So all I mean is that character does not legitimately, without totally false information, betray Tyrion. She just doesn't.
One extra fact about her that we do know about her,
And it
like
would be
she
shitty,
has her flaws.
It would be shitty of them because she's like one of these sort of she's a strong woman given her circumstance in the show, and so I think it would be weak if she were just to
writing
betray.
perspective.
Yeah,
It would
just
be
rat it.
shady of them.
It would be shady. That's right.
Well, one final thing about her, like we do know, so she said, you know, we'll take them on together, but she's always been completely unrealistic when it comes to that. Like she can't
Yes.
see how in danger she is at times.
Totally. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm on the side of she's not a tactician and she's broken heart. It's that simple.
No.
Like there's
Or is she?
right. Well, we'll see.
Double-
or maybe we won't.
Double or nothing on Theon versus Reek.
So what's your theory, that she's in on it?
That at the end she is revealed to be pro Tyrion, and she wasn't just her heart was not. She was not a woman scorned.
All right, double or nothing.
Oh my God!
But the farmer's tan is unbelievable, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Cenk Uygur, the White Walker.
Ironic. Given that I was told before the show started that I'm the darkest one and had to
You
sit
are
in-
the darkest
So
one.
are
Here
you
for the light.
are you lifting? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
couple
All
thousand
right.
pounds. Hodor.
So, who's Tyrion going to pick as his champion?
Oh.
Oh, so that's right. We got to get this the most
Well,
important thing.
See, I know the title for the next episode, and I think it totally gives it away.
Okay, so
No,
hold
so hold
on
on
that.
that, hold on
so
that.
let's do the speculation first, okay?
Do you have something else that doesn't
no.
reveal the title? Okay, all right,
Okay.
hold on. We'll come back to that then.
He's got to pick Jaime, which is foolish, though, because he's only got his left hand. Now, he knows that he's been training,
with Bronn.
so that might maybe give him an advantage, because then the other side might pick a champion that is, oh, wait a minute. If he picks Jaime, Tywin can't have Jaime lose. Solved it. Awesome.
So you're saying that
Do you see what I'm saying?
Obligated to choose
Would
someone.
obligated to choose a champion who will throw it,
Sucks.
who will lose.
Well,
Right.
To Jaime.
just something to bear in mind as we're discussing this. I believe, I could be wrong, I believe it's not Tywin who chooses, it's Cersei as the representative of the slain.
Still, I mean, what? Really?
She's gonna put someone against
She's
Jaime?
gonna have Jaime killed.
Why
Oh,
does-
I love Tyrion. God. Okay, so look. Trial by combat is a little bit of like, okay, anyway, I'm really like, we have the whole OJ trial, etc. And right before the decision of the jury, OJ's like, fuck it, let's arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Right.
Bear in mind, we did this in the real world. Like, this existed.
Oh, is that right?
Trial by combat existed, yes.
Supposedly.
yeah. Hence, it didn't.
Yeah, you fall under the Titan of Braavos.
But it's a little bullshit. Like, of course, I mean, from the first moment he got it, he knew he was railroaded from opening statements.
Yeah.
You know.
No. I mean, look, the fact that he's now used trial by combat twice, like Tywin had to think in the back of his head, wait, dude, what if he does trial by combat? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, man, it all worked out.
Yeah, they did. And then I also think, this is the second part of the conversation, but I always think, like, what would I do if I was Tyrion? And until like 3 seconds ago, I didn't think trial by combat, Jaime, and then you can't win. And then, yeah! Although if I sat in that cell for a while, I might have thought of that.
Totally.
Right? But, you know, I would want to take the deal, right? It's a good deal, you know, and there's a, you know, some percentage chance that the dad is lying and is going to kill him like Ned Stark anyway, but probably not. And when Jaime says, do you trust me? I trust him. I would have taken the deal, except I would have done the same exact fucking thing he did, because I'd be like, all right. I have a line. You just fucking crossed the line. I'd rather die than sit here and deal with this bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw a level of like anger out of him that we've only seen hinted at. He always cloaks it in humor, like how hated he is and how much he hates everyone else. But he finally released it on everyone.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good scene. He's
He's
great.
going to win another Emmy.
He's a great actor. He's a great actor. It was a great scene, and it's a hard scene to do. And then in the hands of a
being comical.
lesser talent, it could be embarrassing, right? It wasn't. It was powerful.
Yeah.
He's great.
There's so many great actors. Joffrey was great. Ramsey is. God, I mean,
Well,
you want to
just-
talk about good
Can we have
casting?
him review an episode with us? That'd be uncomfortable.
And he came right, like, I mean, Joffrey's gone. I mean, they wasted no time for getting us a evil Joffrey replacement.
Yeah. No. Ramsey is such a good actor, whoever he actually is, that I literally wouldn't want him in the room. Like when he gave me those crazy eyes, I'd be like, okay, fuck it, dude, I'll do whatever you want.
Well, Cenk,
okay?
it's funny you should mention that. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hide your sausage.
Yeah, he's
That
not
would be
here.
awesome.
Okay, so before Kim reveals it, do we think I nailed it with Jaime Lannister?
That would mean that also that would imply that Tyrion, in between the time that Jaime said, trust me, and Jaime gave him part of the plan, Jaime never revealed how he made the deal happen.
Yeah, sure.
And so that
We
Tyrion-
saw that he didn't reveal that.
Right, and so that would also suggest that Tyrion may have figured that out, or would that matter?
I don't think that necessarily matters. No, I don't think he figured that out. That'd be a hell of a stretch to figure
But I
that
mean,
out.
if he then Tyrion figured out merely if I name Jaime, there's no way that my dad is going to let the line die.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That is smart.
He had been holding that in his back pocket the whole time. Because, I mean, you're not Tyrion, you're that smart, and you didn't sit in that cell thinking, how do I get out of this, and not figure that out, and you figure it out at the spur of the moment. No, he had it in his back pocket, but he didn't want to play it, because what if Jaime, for whatever insane chance, because he's left-handed now, loses?
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
What if he has to choose second? They choose some badass fighter, and then he's like, oh, wait, I'm not choosing Jaime now.
Oh,
Right.
I didn't even think about choosing second. I don't know how
I
that
presume though that when you
because it's a hell of a risk to take, not only with his life, but probably the person he loves most now in the world is Jaime.
Right.
To take that risk with his
Bronn.
life.
right. Also, Bronn. I mean, look, this is all. Of course, he'll choose Jaime. He could choose Bronn.
Nah.
I mean, Bronn, he's 1-0 with Bronn. You know?
Jamie was his first choice in that case as
Yeah.
well, of course.
Right. Well, but he could dance with the bitch who brought him, but
Yeah.
as they say. But I don't think so.
Anyway, that was it was quite a thing. As talking us through, look, I loved the episode. Like every other episode, it gets an A, but I might knock it down to an A- just because they're like there were a couple of weird things. That scene with the Theon thing, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, trial by count. Like, what were we doing? Why were we wasting our time?
Yeah. No, but like.
That's been established in the series before.
No, I know. Right. No, I got it. It's just it takes away from the drama of the trial because they all know it's in the series.
It adds to the drama.
But then Tywin was like, "Oh, trial by combat." Yeah. Like if you knew it, Tywin knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he knew it. He just. I think that, to be fair, I think that look of surprise was, what the fuck? We had a deal.
Right.
So
right.
I love that look at the end where he's like, we had a deal, and Tyrion looked at him like, yeah, fuck your deal. It's
funny.
called, by the way, Twitter isn't invented yet, but hashtag suck it. Okay.
I thought at that moment that the confession, because Jaime's look during the confession when he starts going off, Jaime is like, shut it, shut it, shut it, shut it down, shut it down. So I was thinking that somehow, and I couldn't quite piece through how it benefited Tywin, that Tywin was thinking, hey, our deal was he gets convicted, ask for mercy. I can't show him mercy if he admitted to the crime. Like that he that
that was
somehow,
his way out.
That
Yes,
was
yes,
Tywin's
yes.
way out. That like
Yes.
this, no, he pled guilty. That changed everything. That wasn't our deal. That does still leave Tywin without an heir, though, because if Jaime's like, all right, then I'm not doing it. Then I don't have to do my end of the deal either.
I don't know why Tywin would have a huge problem with him going to the wall. It's happened before. It's not
It's actually
unprecedented.
a
series.
win-win for him again, as we discussed earlier, if he goes to the wall rather than having him killed.
Yeah.
Sure. So, okay, Kim, before we forget, what's the title of next
I may
episode?
have the order wrong, but I believe it's called The Mountain and the Viper. The Viper is Oberyn.
The Viper is Oberyn.
He's
Who
the
knew
snake.
that? Oh. How did you
I think
know
they've called him
that?
the Viper.
It was the title of the episode.
Huh.
They've called him a snake before.
Okay. The Hound and the Viper.
No, the mountain.
Mountain.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Mountain and
The tougher hound.
So I'm right.
Oh, Oberyn.
It is Oberyn.
Oh.
Well, that's the name of the episode.
Right,
Lots
right.
of people fight in
Okay,
episodes.
that's just what I think it is based on the title of the
Okay.
episode.
Yeah,
but
all
I
right, that's
gotta
good.
give. But I gotta give Kim a significant. Oh. Okay, that's a good one, Kim. Good one. Okay.
And choosing,
Although my Jamie theory is so goddamn good.
I know.
I wish.
Yeah.
I know, your
How
Jamie
did we
theory is
have
so
that
good.
now?
Your Jamie theory is so good that I forgot that it was your theory. Like I thought.
You thought you'd already seen the episode.
No,
and
Tyrion
enjoyed
already
it.
picked Jamie, and Jamie's all trained with the left. You know.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so who knows?
Montage to get Jamie really good.
You know, maybe
His heart's on fire.
maybe I'm smarter than
George R. Martin.
than Tyrion, and he didn't quite think. Or perhaps Tyrion doesn't want to risk Jamie's life because he loves Jamie, and so. And by the way, Kim's absolutely right. Sorry, guys. I mean, I don't know if you call that a spoiler. We just figured it out. I think we figured it out, but we had thought 15 seconds ago that we'd figured it out the opposite direction.
That's so
But
terrible.
anyway,
Show's
remember, there's no one that Oberyn wants to kill more than the Mountain.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
how he goad him into it.
Yeah, and so that duel also solves a lot of things.
Yeah.
That a lot of people win from that duel.
And what's going to be interesting is what Tyrion, because you're going to be right either way, and partly right, that Tyrion spent that time in the cell, figured he'd do that, and if it turns out to be not Jamie but Oberyn, it was because I know I'm going to get him, and I know how I'm going to get him, because I'm going to say to him, they're going to pick the Mountain. They always pick the Mountain, and the Mountain's never lost. So maybe you'll do this for me. You know, and he will, and he'll win.
Yeah, and again, to John's point of it depends on who gets picked first. You know, and so my guess
Doesn't
is
matter because
but
the Lannisters aren't going to pick Oberyn.
No.
And-
No. What I mean is, if the Lannisters get to pick first, Tywin or Cersei gets to pick first. No, Tywin. Let's say Tywin. He would pick the Mountain on purpose if he wants Tyrion to actually win. Okay, because remember, he already promised Prince Oberyn the Mountain. He already made that deal.
Yeah.
And then so he gets to say, I just gave you the mountain. Now, if you die in that combat, not my problem, your problem, okay?
Right.
But if you win in that combat, then I gave you what you wanted. It's a win-win for Tywin.
Yeah,
usually a win-win for Tywin.
Right.
Seems to work out that way.
If that's what Tywin is thinking, if Tywin wants Tyrion to win.
Yeah, I think he does, because I think he wants Jaime to go.
So you would then think that Tywin and Tyrion would both know that Oberyn would take that fight.
I think
yeah,
Tom
everybody
knows.
knows. Yeah,
Tom knows
yeah.
He's mentioned
Tom's like,
a
which
couple
one is
times.
Oberyn?
Right. But he's
Where's
like,
Sir Pounce?
Sir Pounce.
I think you may have. You guys,
Imagine he gets picked as a champion.
it's true. You guys may have convinced me about Tom.
Okay, one last thing from my perspective. So, Jaime, when they talk about what was that debt that needed to be paid in the trial, remember she says your joy will turn into ashes, etc. That Tyrion said that to her. Cersei says that, and then Oberyn asks her what was the debt that needed to be repaid. What was it? And more importantly, why was Jaime making a lot of faces when that whole thing was going on? Like he learned something he didn't know at that point. Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't recall for sure, and I'm sure I'll get it wrong, and the commenters will have fun with that. I think that what Cersei said was sort of what it was, except she was far harsher. Like, I think it was about Shae. I don't remember for sure.
But then,
Was it when she
and
told
did
on him?
but did Tyrion
Yeah,
say
maybe.
those things about? I guess Tyrion did say those things about Joffrey though, and then
Yeah, all the quotes
Yeah,
are
yeah,
true.
those are
and then he was like, yeah, but put it in some. Maybe you want to put it in a little context. What had Joffrey just done?
He was pointing the
Fired
crossbow
arrows
at Sansa.
Oh.
And the guard was being an ass about it.
And the guard was
stripping her
beating
naked.
her, ripping her clothes off and beating her.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, maybe we don't figure that one out.
Yeah, sorry. Feel free.
You know what?
Comments.
Because there's so much that we had so much indecision this week, I'm gonna go ahead and watch next week's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
I was gonna skip it because I thought we just like totally parked
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some money riding on it now.
By the way, I just made up that expression, parked it, for hit it out of the park. I think it's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Ricky should try that on 120 Sports.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That was random.
Speaking of random plugs, can I do a random plug?
Yeah.
So, see this little shirt? Oh, no big deal. The Accused. I'm representing Tyrion here. Anyway, this shirt comes from our sponsor, lexhead.com. They not only have a number of different awesome Game of Thrones t-shirts, which I'm rapidly collecting all of them, like in Pokemon, but they also have Breaking Bad and Walking Dead and Always Sunny in Philadelphia and all sorts of shows like that. So head down in the description. There's a link to their site, and you can find some awesome, relatively inexpensive t-shirts.
You know what I was thinking throughout that? Who would I pick as my champion?
Who would you pick as your champion, TYT?
I'm
He would
gonna.
do it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now that you've been working out and all, is that with a trainer?
A little bit in the beginning, but no.
Nah,
I
now it's
couldn't
just on your
afford
own?
it. Now it's on
When do
my
you go,
own.
in the morning?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just so the
Yeah.
stickers.
Oddball choice, Arya. She's kind of a badass.
Oh, as your champion?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
She fell down last
She
week.
can do
got her ass handed
one-handed
to her.
cartwheels. That's impressive.
John, that's not a champion. I can do one-handed cartwheels. I'm not a champion.
Let's see it.
Well, I'm wearing it. We'll do it later.
Okay.
All right, good stuff this week. Thanks, good show, and we're obviously back next week with the Viper and the Viper and the Viper and the guy in
Mountain.
the
The
opposite,
mountain.
the Viper in the mountain.
And Ramsey Youssef versus Greta Van Susteren.
Yeah.
Ramsey Youssef and Greta
Actually,
Van
that already happened this
Sounds
week.
good.
Thanks, everybody.